Hey, true conceivers, welcome back to the Heroic Origins podcast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Terrance, and we're just two comic book nerds doing what we love to do.
Make up new
superheroes.
So we've been kicking off the new year with a special project.
In addition to brainstorming new characters, storylines, and visual designs, we're also going to write, draw, ink, letter, and post a complete comic book by January 31st.
A complete comic book.
A complete comic book.
By January 31st.
Earlier this week. Oh,
go ahead.
We designed two characters. Let's review them.
Faced with a terminal illness, Florida man Richard Cox searched for the legendary Fountain of Youth and found it buried in caverns deep beneath the swamplands.
Rejuvenated after bathing in its waters, he found himself cursed to respawn every morning in the underground pool, returning with nothing except that which he could capture with a mysterious net found in the ancient grotto.
With a new lease on life, Richard Cox sets out to Richard Cox sets out to help others while also following cryptic clues left by the fountain's previous owner.
He is the net.
Newborn Quester Cash was sold to the devil by his parents, then raised in an unimaginable hellscape.
He grew to become the devil's cashier, managing the transactions of bartered souls.
Upon learning of his own origin, Quester rebelled against his fiendish employers and fled to the mortal world with malevolent ledgers and wretched receipts.
There he hides from the devil's minions within a human accounting firm, striving to bring justice to other children of the damned and balance the books between good and evil.
All right, so those are the characters we came up with. Today, we're going to develop the storyline for each of our heroes for the comic book that we're going to get done this month.
Yeah.
We've given ourselves a time limit, 1 20-minute regulation brainstorming period per character.
If we haven't finished our story by then, we'll move to a lightning round with two additional minutes. What?
Lightning round.
2 additional minutes per story element and 1 5-minute revision period.
Now get ready because... Hold on. It's collaborating time.
We need an explosion there.
You're right. We should. Yeah, I didn't have those graphics available. If you want to send me an explosion, I can add that to the end. All right. So, before we get going, we've got some random elements that we want to kind of go over here. One, we have a random plot element. That means a chase ensues. Random character element. We're going to introduce an authority figure. And then there's a random setting element, which is insert a sound into the story.
Ooh.
And then
we're going to do
we get a random. We decided to add a random picture.
Just to add some
And this
flavor.
is the random one that actually came up when I...
Whoa.
You want to use this?
That's a cool picture.
Okay, we're gonna use that. We're gonna add that to our outline.
Okay. You know what we didn't determine though
is which characters
are we going with here?
Oh yeah, well, do we want to flip a coin?
Well, I mean, it's a baby, so I thought that
I think it actually might be more interesting if it was. We should flip a coin.
Okay.
Do you have a coin? I got a coin. Okay. Heads, it's the net. Tails, it's Quester Cash. All right. Are we ready?
Ready.
It's heads. So it's the net. I actually think that's the more interesting way to go because we want to do a crossover thing. Let's just look at the. Okay, so the character.
So let's talk about
the net. Well, are we on the clock yet, or do we still have stuff to do before we get on the clock?
I think we're on the clock. Let's go ahead and start it.
Let's start the clock.
There it goes.
Okay, so the net is our character. So we know who the net is. We've already figured that out. We just read the synopsis.
Right.
Um, so we've got, okay, a chase ensues, introduce an authority figure, and insert a sound into the story. So we got a baby.
Baby crying in the swamp. Boom.
There
There's
you
a
go.
song.
That's the conflict. Baby crying. Hey, did we ever determine where? Okay, the net is actually in the swamp. That's right, but we don't know where. We actually don't know where.
I thought we
Uh,
situated that there's an exit to a dilapidated mansion of some sort. I thought. That's what it meant.
oh, I was just going to ask you about our other character, Quester
Oh,
Cash. We
oh.
don't know. He could be in Florida too. We don't really
Yeah,
even
well,
know.
he can be anywhere. This guy's stuck in Florida.
That's right. Quester Cash is a traveling accountant.
Yeah.
Okay, so Quester. I'm sorry. The net doesn't have to be in Florida. He just
Well,
starts every day in Florida.
I mean, he just can't get that far.
Okay, but I love that. There's a baby crying in the swamp. That's actually perfect. So the net has to find. So the conflict is the baby needs to be protected um
Fighting gators.
and well, is it a
This
floating
is like
baby? Just
turning
to be
into a
clear,
classic man thing story.
is it a floating baby crying in the swamp?
Well, I think this picture indicates that the baby has some sort of power. So,
Is it a
this
floating or so? Is it a floating or a flying baby?
it could be a flying baby. That would be, what are you going to do? Actually, that's a story that the kid's story that I was writing. The baby flies, and that's a whole issue. it's Everybody doesn't fly, and what do you do with a flying baby?
Um, Swamp. We're in the swamp. Okay, so what happens here? So basically, the net here's a baby crying in the swamp. Discovers it's can fly.
Catches it in the net.
Fly. Well, no, I love the idea. I love the idea that you have this baby that's kind of flying around without really any control, and there are gators trying to snatch it.
Yeah, just that there's like I guess too bad they don't have like you don't have like wildcats or something in a swamp. You know?
Well, are there gorillas in the swamp? Probably not.
No, no.
I want to have gorillas swooping down, trying to. But
I
yeah,
was thinking something that's like roaring and growling, which like alligators like don't
well,
really.
let's look it up. Let's look it up. What are some?
If anything, kids getting eaten alive by mosquitoes.
Well, I mean, there's going to be like frogs that are like poisonous and stuff.
In the
Well,
Florida,
there's a Florida black bear, Florida panther, Florida coyote, and a Florida bobcat. Well, I guess we should say swamp predators.
yeah,
Alligator, crocodile.
caiman, crocodile, snapping turtle.
Oh, what if the baby is riding a snapping turtle?
just have a turtle in there.
White-tailed deer, minks, raccoons, pileated woodpeckers.
Peckers. It's a wooden baby flying.
Well, the baby's yeah, so it's being attacked by. Well, there's frogs though. I think the frogs, snakes, of course, alligators, but it seems like gators are the big predator there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so all right, gators are trying to feast on the baby, but it's just out of reach. So you know what we never did? We never figured out what other powers the net has. The net of the net. I mean, is it just a net? The great thing is actually that's like the perfect device you want to be able to
Yeah,
capture the
exactly.
baby.
Yeah, especially flying baby. So
Okay. So it occurs to me, it's like when we're looking at the character setting and conflict, are we looking at our character or are we looking really at the baby here, you know?
well,
Well, the conflict
I
though
mean,
is the
it's
baby.
a story, so
Yeah. Okay.
that's
Gators
just
are trying to feast on the baby, but it's just out of reach. Okay, so the net nets the baby, and then has to figure out how to return it to its parents.
figures out.
Right?
Yeah, what do I do with the baby? Why is this baby floating in the swamp?
Yeah.
That's your issue.
How do I return it to its parents? How does he do it? Okay. Okay. Let's keep our eyes here on. Okay. There's nobody watching us right now, but somebody might at some point. All right. So that's our basic setup. So that's like Act One right there. So I guess
Yeah.
there's uh, okay. So then we go to Act Two. Well, what else
Well,
would happen
perhaps
in
you should
Act One?
say.
We've got to
I was gonna
determine.
say perhaps we could add to Act One. I mean, for your setting and all. I mean, like the net emerges from his, grotto to the cries of a baby. That sort of thing.
Well, we've got. Well,
Establishing him
let's look
and
at our
his.
random elements here real quick. We have to do. We've got the sound. We have to introduce an authority figure and a chase ensues. So it seems like the authority figure would probably come in the next act,
Yeah.
and the chase would probably come in the next. Well, except that.
Well,
Well,
he's got to
okay.
catch the baby. Maybe he doesn't catch the baby that easy. He's got a little bit of trial to get to the baby.
Well, okay. So okay. He sees the baby flying around. It's not just gators that are going after a baby. There are hunters in the swamp.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Hunters appear and try to capture the baby, but the net nabs baby first and absconds. I'm going to use
Well,
words. Absconds with it to his cave. Maybe not.
how does he get it first? That's the thing. That could be the. I mean the.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, if he's got to fight these guys off before he gets the baby, that's a whole
Well,
matter
there
of
has to be a. Well, this is
That's
the
the
thing.
chase. And the chase could be to catch the baby.
We have to be. This is the thing. You would expect if there's a baby that there would be some sort of. There would be people looking for the baby. So
Right.
maybe the net would think like, oh well, I shouldn't get involved. But
Except that there are people and gators and a baby crying. Like if his first thought is, oh, there's a baby crying, and it's in the swamp, that's dangerous because that's the first thing he hears. Then
well,
what he
that's
sees
true.
are like paramilitary guys chasing a baby through the swamp and gators trying to eat it. It's like that doesn't seem safe for the baby.
Well, it's not safe for the baby, but I'm just saying that if the paramilitary, I mean, he team up with the military? Is what I guess I'm basically
Well,
saying.
I think that he would probably see these guys and be like, "Why are you guys trying to get this baby?"
Would he just confront them directly though?
I mean, I think so. I mean,
Yeah, it's sort of like
there's a baby.
there's a
It's
flying baby around
flying
here. Is
baby.
that what you're looking for?
Yeah, But he
But
may.
then he would have to determine that they're ne'er do wells, right?
Yeah, yeah. But what
So
if?
how do you?
I mean, what if these are just some of the people? What if there's a whole there's a bounty out for the baby, and they're just bounty hunters?
Well,
Like,
yeah, but I mean, they wouldn't reveal that, right? They would be. I mean, if I
yeah.
was okay, let me
Oh
just put
well,
it
but
this way: if
they
I
would
was
view him
hunting a flying baby, I
right.
would say I'm working for the parents. I'm here to bring the baby back.
But if you're like, oh, would they immediately talk to him, or would they think he's a rival trying to catch the baby too? Just eliminate him. You've seen too much.
Well, I think it depends on. I think it depends on. Well, first off, if you're bounty hunting, you don't generally kill other bounty hunters. So that's not the first move you do. So like if but he is a masked man that shows up on the scene, so
But it
that's
depends
something.
on. I mean, doesn't that depend on how much you're going to get out of it? If it's the
Is
once in a
is the net
lifetime,
is the
you know.
net a known quantity? Do people know he's a superhero?
I think that because there's previous incarnations of
Yeah.
him, so
So
there's like
he's a
probably like
legendary superhero.
urban legend of the net. That's so.
Okay. So the net is so they would know who the net is when he
Right,
shows up. They'd be
right.
like, "Oh, it's the net."
Or they'd be,
And
oh
they
no,
might
it's the net.
so he's going to try to stop us. Get him. Is it going to be like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I think so. I mean, it's like, oh no, it's the net. I thought he was just a myth.
Well, the other thing about the net is the net like Spider-Man where he's kind of like people assume he's a criminal.
I would think so. He
Yeah.
just he
So
just does stuff and disappears, and he's been around for too long for people to believe that he's real, So I mean, urban legends are generally not like good things. They're generally like boogeymen
But
of
I'm just
some
trying to
sort.
think, what does the net do? He comes out and he's going like, "Hey, are you after this flying baby? What's going on with that?" And it's like, "Get him! He's the net." You know, do they just immediately try to shoot him or what? I don't know. That's where I'm confused on. I'm not sure
Okay,
what
so
the
he comes out and he's like, he hears, there's
wah,
baby.
wah,
Yeah.
swoosh. That's what we hear. Oh, and
and
snap,
well,
snap, snap.
well, he would hear the baby crying, and he like, huh, what's
And we
that? And he would go investigate it. And when he gets there,
gators are snapping at it, trying to get
yeah,
it.
the baby's in peril. He's like, oh no, and so he gets closer. It's like, oh goodness, because like the baby's like just sitting on a rock or something. And so he's like, oh, and then the baby flies up right before the gator gets it. The baby flies up. He's like, what the? And and maybe in that same moment, so he's like, I gotta stop the gator. He begins tussling with the gator because he's right there. And
He's
the baby's
fighting the gator.
so,
And he's actually, what's great about this is that he knows that even if the gator kills him, he's back the next day. He's
yeah,
probably gotten a lot of practice fighting gators.
probably that's God, that would be something. That's like Groundhog Day. Every morning, get up, get eaten by a gator. Next day,
No, you wrestle a gator. That's different. You
then
wrestle the
find
gator to
ways
submission.
until you get proficient at wrestling gators. It's a lot of days of eaten by a gator. But then, once he like gets free of the gator, he's like,
I
I
got.
gotta
We
get
got.
that
Wait.
baby.
That's gonna be in there. He's gonna. Okay. Wrestle.
I got to get that baby. And
The net wrestles a gator. Are we including? Is that?
yes, he's got to wrestle a gator.
Gator. Okay.
It's any swamp story needs gator wrestling. Gator wrestling, in fact.
Did that happen a lot in Man Thing?
It happened at least once.
Did it? Okay. Well, once.
Yes.
Uh. Okay. So it wrestles a gator. Then the hunters appear.
Yeah, when
And
he's like, yeah, and so then he's in conflict. Like, who are these guys?
well,
Why are they?
this is the maybe it's like he actually is wounded by the gator. That
It could
actually
be.
creates some conflict. He gets wounded. He stops the gator, but he gets wounded by the gator. He crawls up into the drier swampland, and that's when the hunters show up with him. He's like, it's a dramatic moment. He's lying there and like, oh, and
Mhm,
then boom, the foot of the hunters come down. And it's like, what do we do with this punk? That kind
mhm.
of thing.
Yeah, I mean, and they could question like, why are you here? This is our baby.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what do you want?
Hunters appear, and well, what if they capture him?
Mm,
What if they take him captive
yeah,
and take the net captive? Because they're sort of like, even if he's innocent, it's sort of like, well, we don't want him getting in the way,
right.
so we're gonna tie him up and stuff. And it's like, what's with this funky net of his? They might even take the net away. Who knows? So should we say he gets captured by them?
Yeah, yeah.
And then he overhears them talking about trying to capture the baby, but they have sinister motives. It's sort of like, don't hurt the baby much, that sort of thing.
Hmm. I'm hearing myself from you.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm not hearing any. Let me turn my volume down a little bit. I'm not hearing anything, but
Okay.
well, I think we should just keep going though.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, like,
Yeah.
and that, I don't know if that causes any problem anywhere else down the line. That's all.
I think it'll be fine. We've been getting good recordings, so
Okay.
anyway, I don't want to do too much behind the scenes stuff. Let's see. But I've turned the volume down. Hopefully that'll be okay. So they've captured him, and they talk about what they're trying to do, which is capture the baby. But there is, maybe it's like a capture the baby dead or alive. Maybe it's something like that.
That would make sense. Yeah. That way it's
Yeah.
and
And that sets up our conflict, right?
yeah. Yeah. So they're just shooting at the baby. That's
So they talk
that's
about capturing.
that's how
baby.
he knows they're not there for the baby. they just They're just all in hunting gear attire with like orange caps and all. They're just literally hunters.
Yeah.
Baby.
Okay. So that's our initial conflict, our setting, we got all that stuff. So Now let's move to Act 2. So this will be the initial attempt of the net to try to resolve the situation. Okay. And there's going to be a false resolution of some sort. So the net would escape, or what would the and we also have to remember we got to insert a authority figure at some point. So is there anything about the nets?
Well, he's a jack. I'm just looking at his skills. He's a jack of all trades, right? He knows knots. He can get himself out of it.
So he can get himself out of the that stuff pretty easily. Yeah.
We should have put in there, a little bit of. I mean, we'd say he knows knots and naps, but.
I actually did not pull up the character outline. Let me get that up here.
I was trying to think what. Because I mean, it's like, what is the motivation of this group that wants the baby? Like, what are they doing? Why do they have the baby?
Well, there's a little bit of a MacGuffin here. It's sort of like all we know is that they want to capture this baby, dead or alive, and we may not need to know what the real reason for it is. I mean,
but unless he's going to keep the baby, what is he? How do we find the end?
Well, is the authority figure... Here's a question. Is the authority figure an authority relative to the net or to these hunters or to the baby? Because it could be the father of the baby. It could be the leader. It could be like the person who hired the mercenaries or the paramilitary people. It could be like the old version of the net. It could be the old the guy who gave up the powers of the net, right?
What if it's the authority figure is the father of the baby, and the reason that the baby can fly is because it has like the father's flying amulet or something like that. Swallowed daddy's flying pendant, like.
And so the father cares more about that amulet than anybody else?
Like, yeah, he's like some villain, and it gave him the power of flight. And
oh, I like that. Okay. Okay.
And it's just, something that the baby, like, so the baby wouldn't be flying normally, but now he's, I don't know, maybe.
I like that. No, I love that idea. That's what's great is it's kind of it's simple, but it's interesting. So, okay.
It's like what was that? Like, Look Who's Talking or something. It's just like there were baby genius. What was the movie with the baby that kept going through all the things and getting into trouble, but getting out of it?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember what that was.
Or they just follow the baby around. I don't know.
Okay. Father of baby. Well, baby.
Well, maybe not the father. How's this? Because that is a bit dark. Maybe it's a nanny who was stealing something from the father.
Well, why don't we just say... Why don't we just say it's the baby swallowed this amulet? I mean, they could have been visiting somebody, right? So, I mean, they could have been visiting Uncle Jack, and Uncle Jack is a supervillain and has a flying amulet or whatever. So the name of this, and what's the name of this villain? By the way, we are almost out of time.
Well, is it 20 minutes per story?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Oh crap! I was thinking 20 minutes, and then we get a break, and then we do another 20 minutes. So I was watching.
We could do that.
But
why don't we do that? Why don't we add? Because this is clearly going to take more than 20 minutes.
We've learned. Yes.
We have learned. Yeah, this is all new, folks. So,
all right.
Okay. So the baby. Okay. So the parents were visiting Uncle Jack.
Well, I like the idea that it's just like an au pair or a nanny who's like like Dr. Doom's nanny, right?
Well, but this is Dr. Doom's kid. Oh no! It's the nanny's kid.
No, it's the one that they were watching.
Well, that doesn't make sense. Like, the nanny takes care of other people's kids.
Yeah, and so they take the kid because they were trying to steal something, but while they were trying to steal it, the baby put it in their mouth.
But if it's not a nanny, let's say it's not. What if it's not a nanny? It's the housekeeper. The housekeeper had her kid with her, and her kid swallowed the flying amulet.
But then you take away, I don't know, I feel like if it's their kid, you take away the element of, bring it back dead or alive. If it's the nanny, it's like, bring it back dead or alive. I was stealing this thing that the stupid kid ate. I was in their house.
Okay, we're gonna do another 20 minutes. I guess let's just let it roll over. Will it automatically roll over?
No, I'll
Oh,
start
apparently
it.
not. Okay, we should have just pulled up the 40-minute.
Yeah, well, we didn't know. It's a
That's right. We didn't
learning
know. You're right. We
process.
didn't know. Okay, continuing on. So I don't understand. So the baby swallowed amulet of flying amulet of. So it's the baby's father.
Yes. I
Um,
mean, it could be a hero, another hero. It could be another villain. You don't have, but
I like it.
but
Well,
the
if it's going
person
to
who
be, if
took
the
the baby is
instructions are to get
definitely
it
a
back,
villain.
if it's get it back dead or alive, it has to be a villain.
Yeah.
Baby had
Well,
swallowed
no, but it doesn't
father's.
mean that where they got it from was a villain. It could be a, like the Justice League flying rings. Like that's where it was going with it. Was like it could be like something like that where this person got into their house by being the nanny to steal this power ring, and in the process accidentally got it ingested by the baby. So they just took the baby, and then the baby got out of their hands. So now they're trying to catch the baby.
Boy, I almost.
They don't care
Okay.
about
I'm gonna have to say I kind of like the simplicity of it just being the baby swallowed the flying amulet.
it.
Because there's not. We're not gonna have time.
Then you've
We're
got a
not gonna have
father
time to
who's willing to
resolve everything.
murder their child rather than just wait for them to poop it out.
I think this is the.
Whereas I think you've got, if it's somebody who's not directly connected to that child,
But
that
the
person.
but the nanny is gonna suffer if the baby dies, so it doesn't
The
make sense.
nanny isn't really the nanny, though. The nanny was there under false pretenses
Oh,
to
it was a
steal
fake
what they
nanny.
stole in the first place. So, babysitter, maybe not nanny.
So wait, so the nanny. Okay, so the nanny. Okay, babysitter. I think I'll buy that a little bit better.
Okay.
So the babysitter was a fake baby. Was really was infiltrator,
Right, right,
and went in to get the flying medallion or the flying
right.
amulet, but it got swallowed by the baby, and
Hmm.
the baby flew out the window, and so her supervillain crew is trying to hunt down the.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I'm sorry, wasn't quite understanding what you were saying.
yeah. See, I was thinking just taking it out of a direct family.
Okay, baby had swallowed father's flying amulet after babysitter tried to steal it, or before babysitter could steal it. Okay. Um, baby flew away. This is like a flashback. This is actually okay. Baby flew away, and babysitter sent paramilitary troops after it. Okay, so that's the background that is revealed in Act Two, apparently. And is that revealed in Act Two? I guess we can figure that out later. But what is it that what does the net do? The net frees himself from ropes,
Yeah,
from
and I
bondage.
think in the process of being captured, he would learn this backstory about, I guess, about the baby. So,
Yeah. So I actually kind of feel like that's an Act One thing.
well, no, I think that
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
yeah,
matter. Let's
that's,
not haggle
that's
over that.
okay.
We're running out of time. So
Yeah,
let's. Okay.
just
The
keep
point
going.
is that we do find out about that. He frees himself from bondage, and he makes an attempt to he gets a false. He fails. He tries to save the baby and fails, but it may think that he succeeds, but he turns out to be wrong.
Well,
So
maybe.
so this is the thing. He frees himself. He beats up he beats up the paramilitary folks. He captured the baby with the net, but then the net carries him up into the sky.
No, what if the false resolution is like, aha, he defeats the guys, he gets out, he gets the baby, but then somebody shoots him and he dies.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yes.
Frees himself. Okay, beats up paramilitary troops. Net saves the baby. Okay. Saves the baby. Okay, false resolution. The net gets shot and dies. Then resurrected the next day, the next morning
Next morning, he
in the
wakes up.
fountain of youth.
Damn it.
Okay. So the resolution, what's the epiphany?
Maybe he realizes he puts together who's who or something. I don't know.
Well, I think that the revelation must be before he gets shot. I'm thinking.
Well, no, because he could
Like
wake up
he
the next
realizes
morning.
something like go ahead.
He could wake up the next morning with the epiphany, like, ah, that's where they are, and this is what.
Well, but the epiphany must be from some information that he gleaned while he was
the day before.
So he had saved the baby, but I'm like he gets the baby, he sees something peculiar about the baby.
They could say whatever they're gonna say, like they could do their villain monologue, ha ha ha, you will, because he's literally dying. They defeated him, he's dead, and they're like, ha 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 ha.
Oh, okay. So let's just assume he gets shot by the babysitter. Because he beats up the paramilitary troops, so he's shot by the babysitter.
Yeah, so the babysitter steps from behind out of the shadows and
shot by, and the babysitter probably needs to be a supervillain too. But
yeah,
actually, I like the idea of a supervillain called the babysitter.
the flying amulet doesn't have to come from a villain. That's what I was saying.
I see. Yeah, you're right. Okay. The net gets shot by babysitter and dies as he's dying. Well, as he's dying.
As he's drying.
the babysitter gives one of those typical monologues.
Yeah.
That the babysitter gives monologue outlining the plot. Outlining her plot, and also probably the name of the father, right?
Yeah.
And reveals name of baby's father. Okay, so the epiphany is basically just going to be a new way to the idea that basically probably has to go to the father.
Yeah, how to solve this, how to get the baby, the ring, or is it a ring? I don't know. The amulet, the amulet, and defeat the babysitter.
Yeah. Okay, so
maybe there's a black market or something.
Has to go to father for help. Because the baby's when he's resurrected, it's the next day.
Yeah,
he doesn't have. He doesn't. It's like time has passed, right? We don't know when this actually was. This at night. I mean, how much time has passed?
Well, it could be a whole day. I mean, the babysitter could be like, "Yes, now that you caught the baby for us, we're going to put this whole thing on the black market tomorrow," and
Okay.
And there's a whole,
Well, wait. We should tie. Wait. We need to tie this into our other character. So the plot is to sell it to Satan.
Ah, okay. Well, but that's the baby though, not the amulet though. That's a whole other thing.
Well, what if the plot was to? What if this
marketplace?
What if the babysitter was stealing the baby, not the amulet, but the baby got the amulet and flew away?
I was going to say, well, what if I like this story where it is. I was going to say, what if we make the market a marketplace that's also demonic? So it doesn't have to be specific.
Outlining your plot to okay. She also plans to sell baby on black market. Okay, because you're right. The devil's going to be at the black market too.
I mean, it doesn't have to even be like a selling the baby. They were going to auction off the power amulet.
Oh, it was the amulet? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
But it's like maybe the market itself is.
Well, but the thing is why not just kill the baby and take the amulet?
Well, exactly. That's what they've said. That's what their whole point is. That's why they're shooting at the baby in the first place. No,
I know, but you've now defeated the hero, so why not kill the baby and take the amulet? So
maybe when he gets the baby spits up the amulet, or something, so that we don't have to kill the baby.
Well,
maybe his saving the baby maybe involves actually separating the baby and the amulet too.
Maybe we just say that she hired the mercenaries because she doesn't have the stomach to kill babies on her own.
I mean, either way,
And so if the mercenaries she doesn't have the heart.
Yeah, but we can separate the baby and the amulet, and then it's no longer an issue.
But I mean, you could just leave the baby in the swamp. I mean, I'm just saying, this doesn't make sense that they take the baby to the black market if you can just grab the amulet and leave the baby behind.
True.
So there has to be some sort of thing like
saving the baby ends up, out of the swamp. And
I just think the babysitter herself doesn't have the stomach to kill the baby. So she does want to wait for it to poop out the amulet.
Actually, you know what? She might not be the big boss. She may have been planted in there by the big boss in order to get the amulet.
Okay.
And so she could be like an underling. It's like, I was just supposed to get the amulet, and she screwed up, basically. She's an amateur criminal.
Okay, but the point is she's now, however, she did shoot the net.
Maybe she's not the shooter. Like, I've solved your mistakes. That would be our authority figure.
It needs to be just her. I mean, why can't it just be that she's like, she doesn't mind killing adults, but she can't kill a baby?
Okay.
I mean,
or maybe she shoots him and she's like, "Oh damn, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, man. Sorry."
Well, except what was she trying to do?
She's like, I just wanted the baby. I just need the baby.
Well, let's take a step back.
My boss is going to kill me if I don't come back with that amulet. So accidentally murders him.
Oh boy, we're going to run out of time again. We're going to have a second story brainstorm.
I like the fumbling villain. That's like, she's already fumbled.
I like this. I'm just saying we need to back up and flesh it out. And I'm thinking, I'm just going to tell you, I think that we're going to need to do a separate brainstorm for the other story.
Yes. No, definitely. Yes. That's what we're going to do.
I mean, we're not going to do it today.
When we added 20 minutes to this one.
We're not going to do it today. So, okay. So let's just take a step back. So, okay. So she's the babysitter. She broke in to steal the amulet.
Right.
The baby ate the amulet before she could run off with it, and it flew out the window. So she calls it into headquarters and say, "Whoops, I messed up. Whoopsies."
Well,
and
maybe
they send out the paramilitary group.
Well, maybe she just took the baby because it swallowed the amulet, and then they're like, "Why the hell did you bring the baby? You were supposed to just bring the amulet." She's like, "The amulet's in the baby."
Well, but I mean, I like the idea of it just flying out the window as soon as it eats the amulet. But I mean, it doesn't really matter because that's not going to be in the story so much. But it could be. It might be a flashback. But I mean, I think it should be simple. I think one of the things is this is a short story. We need to make it simple.
I know.
So it flies out the window. She calls in the paramilitary troops.
Right.
They face the net. The net basically debilitates them, and she gets the baby. I think she has an attack of conscience. I think she gets it and is like, they're going to kill this baby if I bring it to them like this. So she's going to try to get it to poop out the stuff. She has laxatives with her or something. And she tries to get the baby to poop out the amulet.
Well, my point is babies spit up all the time. So that's all it has to do. And that resolves.
Well, but how do you, I don't have a baby. So how do you induce that?
I mean, they just eat stuff. They spit up for no reason. They eat and they burp.
But you don't know. But
maybe that's
no guarantee. If you wanted to guarantee that you were going to get this baby, stuff out.
What?
If you wanted to guarantee that the baby was going to spit up the amulet, how would you do it?
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody goes trying to make a baby spit up. So
that's not true. You got babies that have poison. You stick a finger down its throat or something, right?
But I mean, what
would a doctor do?
I guess that's what they would do. I mean, they pump a stomach for when kids eat stuff. I mean, just like anybody else ingested.
Well, so she needs to get the stomach pumped, but she's worried they're going to kill the baby.
Okay. Yeah.
So she doesn't want the baby to die. She just wants to get the amulet.
That to him after she shoots him too. I'm sorry, the baby's going to live. Don't worry. I'm going to get his stomach pumped.
That's good. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the babysitter. The net gets shot by the babysitter as he's dying. The babysitter apologizes, swears the baby will be all right, And she could even just say she just wants the amulet.
Yeah, she's like, they just want to sell the amulet at, yeah, no, we need a name for this market. So like at the night market or whatever, something that's nefarious sounding. That would be.
Sell the amulet on the black market. I don't know. It could just be black market.
Well, but that's too vague. Like you need like something blacker or something darker or something like
the devil's distillery or something.
Like maybe every year there's some big supervillain market that comes.
Synonym for market.
Bazaar.
Well, yeah, it's like at the I should say marketplace, I guess. But yeah, the bazaar is the something bizarre, or the emporium, the evil emporium, the market, the galleria.
What about like Sin Galleria, or what was a?
Well, but this is about this is not evil this is a we've got. We got a bunch of chats that we need to get rid of.
Oh, what?
Well, we got a bunch of sales things here.
Oh.
Clean that up. Block that user.
Oh, hey, we've got somebody's watching us. Maybe the baby.
Oh yeah, Rebecca. Sorry, Rebecca. There's a bunch of bad chat stuff here. Let's get rid of that. Okay, Rebecca. Or maybe, what does Rebecca say? Rebecca says, or maybe the baby poops it out right before he is shot. Oh, that's so then
yeah, actually, yeah, and that's swift resolution too.
Okay, I like. Hi, Rebecca. That's
like, what's
good
this
to have you back. All right, so okay, actually, well, should it be pooping's pretty disgusting. Do we want it to be pooped, or do we want to just like it could just spit it up?
Baby poop is not that disgusting. Or it is
No,
disgusting.
it's not. Oh, okay, I don't have any.
Depending on your approach to it, it's not like human poop. It's baby poop.
Okay, so that's the. Okay,
you can
so
come up with a name for the market later.
All right, they just want to sell the. Okay, so baby, as he's dying, baby poops out amulet. The babysitter apologizes, swears the baby will be all right. They just want to sell the amulet on
Craigslist, whatever. Evil Craigslist.
Evil Craigslist.
at Evil Emporium.
The Evil Emporium. We'll just call it the Evil Emporium.
Yeah.
That sounds like a comic book thing. At the Evil Emporium. Okay. Okay. Then the net is resurrected the next morning in the Fountain of Youth. Okay.
All right.
So she also swears the baby will be all right, and returned to the father, that's the authority figure.
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
So, but we'll find out. Okay. So the epiphany is that he has to go to the father for help, and go to the Evil Emporium. Okay, so great. All right. Wow. I think it's going to turn out to be 20 minutes per act. Don't you think? This is what it's looking like to me. So we're going to do another 20 minutes after this. Does that sound reasonable for the third act?
Well, the climax, the end shouldn't take that long, right? We
got 1 minute. It's going to take longer than 1 minute.
Yes, it will take longer than 1 minute. We've got a 5-minute revision period.
I don't think our format really is playing out, to be honest with you. I think we do another 20 minutes. How are we doing on time? We're okay. We're only 45 minutes in. We haven't been an hour.
All we need is a climax and a resolution,
Okay, let's just do it then. Okay, fine. Right. Climax is so he goes, okay, so he finds the father. We got to figure out who the father is. Finds the father. I'm assuming the baby has been returned to the father already. If the baby spit up the amulet, or not, what do you think?
Well, I mean, he doesn't. I guess he would. So okay, he wakes up in the morning and he's got to establish all of that information. He's got to, establish that she did what she said she was going to do, right? So, like, he would be looking for that father, the baby, or hospital or something, I mean, she may just drop the baby off at a police station,
Okay, let's do another 20.
You want to do another 20? Let's do another 10. I think we can knock this out.
Do we have a 10? We don't have a 10-minute timer.
We can take this back to 10.
Fine, whatever. Okay, it would be pretty funny if they had to retrieve the amulet from the poop. Yeah, I agree.
I think the bumbling babysitter villain is a wonderful thing. I love it.
I agree. Okay, it has to go farther it has to go to father. Okay, so so wait, what happened to the baby? What did we decide?
Baby's Day Out. That's what the movie was, by the way. I just remember.
Baby's Day Out. Okay.
Baby's Day Out.
Right? Okay, so did the baby get returned to the father or what?
Let's say yes, but he still wants to retrieve his superpowers, perhaps. So.
Okay, baby is
and returned. We don't need to have it all like.
Well, but that's the thing. That's what the net brings to it. The net has the information. The baby's just been returned to the father, but the father's like, I need my amulet. And what's the name of this hero? Is it just Flying Amulet Man?
It's Skyward.
Skyward. Oh, I like that. To the father, the hero Skyward. Hero Skyward. The net finds Skyward and gives info about Evil Emporium, which of course Skyward would know about.
Right.
Okay. They go to the market together.
Yeah, they develop a plan to get in there and get his powers back.
Yeah.
Defeat villains and have a big fight.
Sure.
That's your climax.
So, I mean, yeah, does Skyward have any? I mean, he probably has equipment other than flying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, but who is there a big bad guy here?
Well, we've got the entire villain market now, right?
Well, but you figure that somebody's coordinating this.
Well, you've just got to. So now it's a heist, actually, to get back the powers, right? Or of some sort. So they're, he's they just have to wait for the right time to strike and get his powers back, and then fly away with them. That's their plan, basically.
Well,
right?
They're sneaking in. They're they're waiting for it to get on auction. But this is presumably there are supervillains everywhere here.
Right. Exactly. So.
And we are okay. Why don't we just say that there is a baby selling market there too, where they're selling to the devil. So that's just like a side. That's our little crossover thing.
Exactly.
Okay. For our other, that's right. You didn't catch it, Rebecca, but we created another character whose theme is he tries to thwart babies being sold to the devil. Long story short. So okay. At the Emporium, there's a baby selling.
There's a baby booth.
There's a baby booth. Baby booth.
I'm imagining it just like, Villain Con.
Demons. And there's different demons. There are different demons there that are all, bidding on the babies, right? So it's all, okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Rebecca approves. All right. Okay, so they get there, and
so they've got to steal back the flying ring, flying amulet. Okay. They've got to,
we know that there's going to be a fight. Okay, they're going to have to. So, but there's going to be a bunch of supervillains. Basically, there's going to be a bunch of villains. Yeah. Maybe not supervillains, but a bunch of villains.
Right.
Who? Okay.
I mean, that's why I was going to say it becomes a little bit of a heist here at the end.
Well, they have to wait. Part of it is they have to disguise themselves as villains, right?
Yeah,
they have to disguise themselves as They go to the market together, disguised as villains. And it's uncovered that they're villains, and then they have to make a mad dash. I'm kind of bummed that the baby's not involved anymore, but. uh, disguised as villains and nab the amulet
and fly away.
and fly
Because
away.
once they have the amulet, they've got an escape route. That's what I think
But
is
they're
nice
being
about it.
chased by but they're being chased by. Well, they could also get killed and be both resurrected. you
I
know.
guess, but then they wouldn't have necessarily have what they came for.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Flyway being chased by. Well, what if? God, what if Skyward gets killed and instead, but the net they both get killed, but the net is resurrected but has the amulet.
Oh my goodness! If somebody else were killed, if he covers them in the net, right?
Uh huh.
Will they be restored the same as he is, or will he just wake up with a dead body?
No, he'll wake up with a dead body.
Okay.
But I'm just saying. But what if he like? Yeah, so what if they actually both get killed, and then
well,
he's resurrected and Skyward's dead, but he's got an amulet that allows him to fly.
well, I was gonna say, I think that I wouldn't kill Skyward because just gives you a nice happy ending, right? If at the end of this, right? Wait, listen to me, right? At the end of this, Skyward doesn't die, but decides to give up the amulet anyhow because it's endangered his child. He doesn't want to be a superhero anymore, and you end up with the
No,
same.
this is the thing. I think that we've
And,
revealed with a power set of this is it's more interesting from a power set perspective that if I think it's an interesting demonstration of the power
but I
that he
think it
has.
sucks for our hero if he's so ineffective. He keeps dying, like every time he does anything. That's why
He
I would
walked
like him to
into a
not die
no, no,
again.
no. Except that's his power. He's okay with dying. He's like,
But he's dying and not saving a hero. I mean, he's
but
failing
this creates a new dilemma.
twice in the
Also,
same
let me put
story.
it this is not only does he. I think it's going to be a regular part of his stories.
But
I
he
guess
can
in my mind, but
to an
I think
element, but he needs
this
to
is the
have
thing.
some
This is the thing.
success.
It creates a cliffhanger because he now has to go take care of the baby. Now you don't like it? Okay.
No, I don't.
I
I
don't
don't.
like the happy
Because
ending
I mean,
necessarily where he
we
gives
didn't
him the
talk about
amulet.
assuming Skyward there's a mother involved with the baby or another parent because he didn't bring the baby with him, so the baby is somewhere,
Well,
right?
well, the baby has a babysitter,
So,
or maybe there's a.
do you think that he would trust another babysitter?
Well, maybe the reason he had to get the babysitter was because the nanny was on vacation or something.
I mean, I would just go with the Skyward doesn't die.
I'm just saying, there's nothing
And
clever about Skyward not dying. It's like I'm going to give you the amulet. There's nothing clever
well,
about that.
there's
It
nothing great about him
doesn't tie
dying
the themes
either.
together. It doesn't tie the themes together at all. And I kind of like a dark ending. So
But what's the point of it? All it does is say that we have a hero who's completely ineffectual and incapable of doing anything.
I think most heroes would be ineffectual if they're being chased by a whole. What if the mother is a villain and recognized Skyward? Oh.
You're supposed to be home watching our kid.
Oh, okay. A little sexism there at the same time, yeah.
That
Oh,
see
but
this
the idea that she's at the market is
yeah
what she's saying. Okay.
yeah
Well, okay. I
that's a
like
whole
that
other
idea. I like that
yeah.
idea. So the revelation is that the father Skyward goes there, and it turns out that the
But see, he could just walk away from the whole thing. That's where he's like, I'm done with this.
well, wait. Let's think about this here. What if the mom? Okay, well, I'm more open to that. But what if it's like the mom hired the babysitter to steal the amulet so that she would have cover?
I mean,
No, I like that idea. It's like the mom actually didn't want to be implicated herself, so she hires the babysitter to steal the amulet, and that's when the baby stuff ensues. And see,
but if she
Rebecca agrees.
but if she's been after the amulet, I mean, she's right there. I mean, does she? What if she didn't know her husband was Skyward? Was the hero? Like, what if they didn't know each other's secret identities?
Well, what if she found it? What if he doesn't think she knows, but she found out? This is the plot. She found out about it. She goes. I told you we needed 20 minutes. Um, she finds out that he's skyward and is like, oh, I need to steal this amulet. So I'm going to set up a plot. But the way you do it so that you're not implicated is that you go on vacation, you hire a babysitter, the babysitter steals it. But that's when things went wrong with the baby eating the amulet. But they finally, but anyway, they get the amulet after the whole baby incident, and so she's at the market to sell the amulet. I think it makes sense to have somebody just add 10 minutes. We should have done 20 minutes for this. I'm just trying to find some sort of clever way to. I mean, I think that's a great idea to make it the mom. And so Skyward, and then I could see Skyward deciding to give up because he's sort of like, oh, geez, I can't even tell my foes from my,
Well, I think,
my wife.
I think this is a longer story, but that's my only. It's like we had a simple ending, and now it's longer.
Well, we go back to him dying and be resurrected with the flying amulet. It's a cliffhanger.
I feel like we already did that, and to do that again.
I think the baby. I think the whole subplot with. I mean, the whole motivation. I think that would be easy to tell through dialogue. I mean, the only real plot that happens is they're chased, right? And the wife is defeated. And okay, then I'm like, yeah, Skyward gives up the amulet at the end. I'm totally fine with that. And sort of like, you know what? I can't even trust the people, my loved ones. I can't do this job anymore. Here, Mr. Net, you take the amulet. You have no one in your life. You're lonely. I think that's the moral of the story.
I mean, yeah, it could be just like at the end, you got kids? No. Oh, here, take this.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think that would actually be a quick resolution. It's a big reveal. It's a big reveal, but that's what you want in that final act.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
And we don't have to follow up. It's basically like she's going to do a evil villain monologue where she's like, I found out you were Skyward, and that's when I decided to, hatch my plot, which was to go on vacation, hire a babysitter to steal it. Who knew that the baby would eat the amulet and fly away?
Night.
Huh?
It could just be date night. It doesn't have to be vacation.
Okay, it could be date night, but they hire a babysitter. Yeah. So they die. Yeah. So that's fine. That's fine. Oh, we got some more. What do we got? Maybe Skyward is headed to being a single father.
Very true.
Well, because they're going to get a divorce after this, right?
Well, you assume maybe they go to some couples counseling. They work things out.
Well, the thing is we don't. It doesn't really matter. The point is that's going to be their story. The end of our story is going to leave them on a cliffhanger. But the ultimate, the end of our story is that Skyward gives up the amulet.
Right.
And it is like, I can't, I don't trust the situation here. Somebody else needs to safekeep this in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. I don't know. Yeah. To me, that's interesting.
Yes, I can go with all of that. That
okay,
sounds good.
Let's do that. Okay. So, okay. Okay. They go to the black market disguised as villains, and discover that Skyward's wife is the villain orchestrating this all. Okay. This heist. They steal the amulet and fly away. Skyward decides he can't trust his loved ones.
Can't. Yeah, can.
No, sorry. Can't trust his loved ones and gives the amulet to the Net for safekeeping. The end. All right. I think we did it.
See? We didn't need a whole 20 other minutes.
And here's it's time for our 5-minute revision period. I think I don't know. I think we did our revisions as we go.
I think we've got a solid thing there. Yeah.
Okay, so we're about an hour here, so we did it. Okay,
Yeah,
that went very
just a
different than
little
we
bit.
were expecting.
But it was
So
that was a fun combo of
that
things.
was fun. That was a
Thank
fun
you
little
so
story.
much, Rebecca, for input.
Yes, you gave us some key elements.
Yes.
We appreciate you. And I guess we were gonna try to do both plots for the we're gonna do another plot for the other character, but we're gonna have to postpone that.
Yeah.
So why don't we shoot for I guess maybe Monday night? We'll have to discuss it behind the scenes. All right.
Yeah.
But we're
Yeah.
going to come back for another plot cast where we're going to discuss the story for Quester Cash,
Lester
the
Cash.
devil's cashier. All right.
All right.
Okay, well let's
Well,
is that it?
I
Wait,
think
do we have
that's
what's
it.
our outro? Are we just going to play our stupid outro
That's a
music?
wrap. Keep on hero smithing. We'll
Check us
see you
out.
next time on Heroic Origins Podcast.
What he said.
Ah.
Thought.